Hey folks, welcome to Helen Roscoe Yoga on YouTube. In this practice today, we're going to explore ways to energize ourselves, and you might find this useful to take first thing when you wake up in the morning, or definitely as a daytime practice, a way to kind of pick yourself up, get a sense of how you're feeling and invite a quality of expansion and connect to your energy as you go. So let's start from standing. You might like to take your socks off. If the floor's a bit cold, feel free to keep them on. But just to begin with, we are going to have our feet about a shoulder distance apart. So they're not in line with the hips, a little bit wider than the hips. And you might like to just lightly release into the knees so you're not locking back through the knees. Just take a few moments to settle into your heels, down through the balls of your feet, invite your toes to spread. Just a sense that you are anchoring yourself. Take a few deep breaths, noticing how it feels as you breathe in, and then on the exhale, a lovely sigh, letting the breath go down towards the ground. A few more of those in your own time. And then lightly enjoy a bit of movement across your torso. Now what I tend to do with this is that as I move in one direction, I bend the knee a little bit on that same side and the other leg straightens a little. So I'm kind of shifting around from one foot to the other. Play around with the position of your feet. You could always take them a little bit wider or narrower depending on how this feels for you and your centre of gravity. And then let your arms just really move away from your body. So often when we take this practice, what we're trying to do is encourage a letting go of tension. So if you're doing it in a way that's more contrived, that's stiffer, then you're kind of not really letting go of that tension. You're working rather against the tension. So let's invite a sense of looseness, and your hips can move into this as well. And then at a certain point, you might like to just take those hands a little bit higher. So you're moving from that lower part of your spine, your hips, your waist, towards the mid part of your spine, your rib cage and your upper abdomen. Bending the elbows a little bit further. Maybe the head's starting to get involved in this as well. Looking around the room. And then if you'd like to, you could take it even higher. Just check that you're not lifting into your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders. They want to stay relaxed away from your ears as your hands move towards the shoulder region. So maybe they're cupping behind one shoulder. And allow your arms to almost be like a wingspan moving away from your body, helicopter wings wrapping around the body, and then just start to bring that around. Now the other thing you might like to do is just start to lift a foot as you go as well. So you encourage a bit of padding through the feet, waking up the soles of your feet as well as your torso, your legs, your arms. Okay, just start to bring that down, bring it down, and then let your arms just move to a little dangle by the sides of your body. Breathing in, sigh the breath out. And then step one foot in front of you. And this time we roll over the feet forwards and backwards. As you roll from the back foot towards the front foot, you can lift your arms up. As you roll from the front foot towards the back foot, notice I'm coming onto my front heel. Bring the arms down and you move over that front leg. And again, there's a bit of looseness here. So we're trying to just wake up the body, warm up the body, and invite a little bit of stretch through that front leg, length along the torso, and rolling across the feet, waking up those feet as well. Your shoulders, your hands can be quite floppy. You could always pause at either end. Just encourage a little bit more length at that top end and likewise at the bottom end before you then bring yourself back to centre and swap the legs over. So similar process, maybe just start with the rolling from one foot to the other, and then you can bring your hands in, your arms in, and that hip flexion, the folding of the hip over your front leg as your arms release. And obviously if you're harbouring any kind of back or knee injuries here or issues, then it's not going to be as deep. You're going to be a little more cautious with that folding over the front leg and lowering of the torso. So just a few more rounds until you like to move into that upward space for a moment. Just feel the length in your body, and then likewise the other end if you'd like to, before you then come up to stand and let your feet just come into a parallel position. So this time I'm looking at my toes coming in line with my hips. So they're not wider, they're not close together, but they're somewhere in between. And taking a few moments to settle into this shape. Notice your breath change. My breath is definitely a little shorter, having gone through that more invigorating movement in my body. So I'm just going to spend a few moments focusing on my breath and inviting myself to move towards a calm, centered breath. So centering the breath means bringing your awareness to the breath. Calming the breath means just allowing that exhalation to slow down, and with it taking unnecessary effort or tension in the body. So it's an anchoring tool. And then on the breath in, just welcoming, watching the breath move in through the nostrils. Bringing your hands onto your elbows, and we're going to wake up our mid-spine or thoracic region. So imagine drawing a figure of 8 with your elbows, almost cycling it around, walking up a ladder. Take it to a point where you feel that's as far as you can take them before the shoulders start to get involved, and then wiggle it around the other way. And try that a few times, up and down, really centered through the soles of your feet. And then you can swap your elbows over and see if you can go the other way. Just a little bit of coordination here. Definitely feels a bit stiffer for me when I take the elbows higher. So I'm just going to encourage that loose quality. Up, up, up towards the sky. Lifting up whilst I stay firmly rooted through the feet. Okay, when you've done that, just let your arms have a little shake up. Okay, so let's step our feet into that parallel position and interlace the hands so that the palms face down. On a breath in, I'm going to take the arms up towards the sky. Now you might find at a certain point you need to release that finger clasp, just let the fingers move away from one another. Otherwise, turning the palms to face up towards the sky. On your exhale, draw the tops of your hands towards your head as if your elbows are moving towards one another. And on a breath in, taking the arms up towards the sky. This time as you exhale, a little lean to one side, just waking up the opposite side of your body. As you breathe in, come back to centre, and then exhale the other way. And exploring that reverse as you come up. Exhale, draw the hands towards your head. Breath in, press into your feet, lift, 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 lift. And then release the arms out and down to your sides. And just take a moment with that awareness at your shoulders. Maybe shrug them as you breathe in, release them as you breathe out. And then on your next exhale, interlace the palms, turn them down. Breath in towards the sky. This time we're going to keep those arms a little more lifted as we exhale, inviting you to turn in one direction. You might like to just bend your knees a little as you go, so you're not pulling into your knees. And then breath in, come back to center. Breath out and turn the other way. Keeping your head in a neutral position, the chin is lightly drawn in. Breath in, come back to center. Exhale, draw your hands towards the tops of your heads, the elbows towards one another. Breathing in, press into your feet, lift, 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 lift. And as you exhale, release that lovely feeling of coming back to yourself, of releasing and letting go. Take a few moments there to notice how you feel. And then bringing your hands onto your hip creases. With your breath out, come about halfway. Your back is long, so try and keep that long back from the tail as if to the crown of your head, your spine extending all the way. A little softness into your knees. Breath in, lift, lift, lift your chest. As you exhale, see if you can then fold a little more deeply into your forward fold. Bend your knees as you go, or keep your legs straighter depending on how this feels for you. Softening through crown of head towards the ground. When you're ready, take a breath in, bend your knees. Imagine your bottom coming towards a seat. Drop down into your heels. And with your next exhale, press through the feet. Lift your chest away like you're peeling yourself away from your thighs and rise to stand. Lovely sigh of your breath. Turn your right toes out a little and take a step forward with your left foot. Just check that you're happy in this position. Your front foot might be a little bit wider apart than your back foot. It doesn't want to be on the same line. We're going to feel a little bit wobbly if that's on the same line as the back foot. So your front knee is going to be a little bit bent. Your back leg is strong. With your exhalation, interlace the fingers, turn the palms away. As you breathe in, bend your front knee, take the arms up towards the sky, moving into warrior one. And on your exhale, draw the tops of your hands towards your head and lightly draw your navel back towards the spine. With a breath in, lift, 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 lift. Through the fingertips, anchor down through the feet, exhale, come back to your starting point. So on your breath in, moving into that warrior one position, anchoring down through the feet, exhale, drawing the hands towards the top of your head, lightly draw the navel in. Breath in towards the sky, exhale, come back to your starting point. So let's do that twice more. Lifting into that expansive shape, and as you exhale, just trying to maintain that quality of expansion as you draw the hands, opening across the chest, lifting up, coming back, and once more. Softening the jaw, maybe fix your gaze somewhere ahead of you. When you complete the round, step your feet together, bring your hands onto your hip creases. Long, long exhalation, come about halfway. Keeping that spine in a neutral position as you breathe in. Almost imagine the chest lifting, 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 but you're still in that tabletop position with your spine. The next exhale, start to round or invite the spine to move closer towards your legs. And then as you breathe in, bend your knees, sink your bottom down, exhale into your heels as you lift up, peel the chest. Arms rise. Lovely sigh. Turning your left toes out and taking a step forwards with your right foot. And again, just making that adjustment so that you feel grounded through the soles of your feet, centered through your pelvis, upright along the spine, head just nicely bobbing on top. Breathing out, interlace the hands, turn the palms away. With your inhalation, bending the front knee, take the arms up, exhale, draw the hands towards the top of your head. Breath in, breath out. So we're going to repeat that 3 more times at your own pace. Fix your gaze somewhere ahead of you, keeping the chin drawn into the back of the neck as long, engaging the abdomen, drawing the navel in with those exhalations, supporting your lower back and your pelvis. Just finding a nice little flow, moving with your breath, inviting expansion and stability. And when you've done 4 or so, coming back to your starting point, step your feet together, find your hands onto your hip creases, lift your chin a little, and with your exhalation coming to that halfway point. As you breathe in, keep lengthening as if the crown of your head is moving towards the space in front of you. And then exhale and release further into your forward fold. Just see whether your hands are moving to the ground. If not, you can keep them on your legs or on your lower back. And just encouraging this kind of down release of the head towards the ground. You could always do this to a chair as well, for a little bit of extra support there for your spine, moving you into that forward bend. And when you're ready to come up, really bend the knees as if you're coming to a seat, and then sink into the hips and lift the chest like a spring. Rise up to stand. And just take a few moments there to notice how you feel. Have a little shake out. Invite your hands to come into the centre of your chest and just take a few moments to reconnect to your breath. With the in-breath, just notice this upward rising energy along the front of the body up towards the top of your head. With the out-breath, the downward moving energy from the top of your head moves between the shoulder blades, along the spine, touching the curves of your spine, meeting your pelvis, and it almost drops down the centre between the legs towards the ground. And the breath in is up and the breath out is down. Just take a few more rounds of breath here, steadying yourself. Softening the space between your eyebrows, relaxing your jaw, teeth, your lips, and invite a gentle smile. Okay, thank you very much everybody. I hope you enjoyed that short standing practice, and I look forward to checking in with you soon. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Thank you.